Hi everybody, this is Ernie's Eye View. You know, with all the things that are going on in this country right now, with the president that we have, with the Senate and the House that we have, the problems with the administration that we have, the busting up of the Constitution, the executive decisions, and all those things, I thought maybe it might be time to revisit a really old document. A document from way back. Matter of fact, the document is from July 4th, 1776, and it's called the Declaration of Independence. It's the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. And I think we need to listen to these words again and maybe repeat them a little more often than we have in the past, especially the recent past. And it states, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impelled them to the separation. And it continues, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whatever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles as organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient suffrage of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. I'll read you a couple of the facts. These are the things they listed, everything that King George had done to the 13 colonies. He has refused his assents to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. And they just list all the things that King George imposed upon them. And then, of course, at the end of it, there's a small paragraph that states, in every stage of these oppressions we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. I would say right now we pretty well have a tyrant. At least he thinks he is. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our attention, do in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare, that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, God, we mutually pledge to each of our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Now those, my friends, were the days when our politicians had sacred honor. We had a pretty good group of guys that formed these colonies that were referred to as the Founding Fathers. But they would have a couple of those guys around right now. There may be a couple hiding somewhere in the, behind the curtains, but we need them to step forward. We need to right this country. We need to throw off the oppression that we have from the tyrant that is now running this country and all of his people and his minions. We need to throw them out just as they did in 1776 on July 4th. I don't know how we'll do it, but Mr. Obama has over a year to do the things that he wants to do, and we as a people have got to stand up and tell him to his face, no. We need to look at our congressmen and say, do you want to keep your job? Do you like your job? Do you like all the little benefits that go with it? Because if you don't do as we, the people, tell you, then you're not going to have a job. You can go home to wherever you want to go, to your farm, your grocery store, wherever you want, and make an honest living for a change. But this Declaration of Independence, I think everybody needs to read it probably once a month at least, to realize and remember that we, the people, are the people who run this country. It's not the other way around. It's not one great big mad black man in Washington, D.C. With an anti-American, anti-Christian stack of beliefs. It's not a man living in Washington, D.C. in a great big White House that can write executive decisions whenever the hell he wants. This is not what the Declaration of Independence says. So if you read this and you like these words from the Declaration, and I would ask you, please forward it to friends. Tell your friends. Read it on their own or listen to me say it. It doesn't make any difference. But remember how this nation started. And it started with the Declaration of Independence to throw off tyrants and to rid ourselves of a government that did not serve the people. And ladies and gentlemen, we are the people. Thank you for hanging around for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this. And tell your friends, read the Declaration of Independence. Read the Constitution too. There's a lot of really good information in that. But these documents, these two documents especially, are what this country was founded on. And that's what we believe in. And that is who we really are. We're not the black against whites, the men against women, the rich against the poor. That's not what that document says. And that's what Mr. Obama is preaching right now. That's what his wife preaches right now. And happy-go-lucky Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and all the idiots who are running this country who have no business even being, probably even in this country. So let's get rid of them. Let's take our country back. And let's spread the word on the Declaration of Independence. 56 men signed that. You might want to look that up too. I read those 56 names. You'll be very surprised. Anyway, thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless the men and women in the United States of America. And God bless all the firefighters and all the policemen, especially the policemen. They're taking it pretty hard right now. So God bless all of those people. And God bless our servicemen and women who are keeping us safe and keeping the flag of liberty flying high. Thank you.